Hello and happy Wednesday. Today on the Busy Bride podcast, I'm actually releasing something, like a launch almost. It's really exciting and I think will help a lot of couples be able to plan their wedding weekend with intention so that they can spend their time with their spouse, with the people they love the most, with all of their guests without feeling hurried to do all three combined. Let's get into it. Hello and welcome to the Busy Bride podcast. I'm your host, Gabriella Marie, and I created this podcast to help you research vendors and learn valuable advice as you plan the most special and true to you wedding day of your dreams. Let's get started. Okay, so I've been photographing weddings full-time for about 6 years now, and I've seen lots of different types of weddings. But there's one thing that there never seems to be enough of at weddings, and this is included in my own wedding experience from earlier this year. There never seems to be enough time, and that can be said for literally anything in the world, including wedding days. Time flies when you're having fun, and you're having so much fun around your wedding. But I've noticed a couple of ways to increase the time that you spend with the people that you love or on things that you value a lot around your wedding that don't necessarily have to take place on your wedding day. So I'm going to talk to you today about why I think having a wedding weekend is an amazing idea. And no, you don't have to go to a destination to be able to do this. Either internationally, domestically, a couple hours drive away. You don't need to do that to have a wedding weekend. You just need to be intentional about the design for your weekend. So a standard wedding day, typically there is a rehearsal dinner, either the night before or earlier in the week, depending on what your venue is like, which is where you have, the rehearsal for the ceremony with your spouse and your immediate family, wedding party, any VIPs that are included in the ceremony. And then you have dinner together afterwards. And it's a really beautiful time to really have intentional conversation with those super important VIP loved ones. But then it kind of usually ends there. And then the wedding day is when you get to see all of your guests who were not part of the rehearsal dinner day, who maybe have traveled into town to celebrate you and your spouse for your wedding day. And then the next day, everybody just kind of leaves and goes home. Or they go home that night if you're having a local wedding. And so when that happens, typically then things get squished into your wedding day. You're able to spend time with those VIPs at the rehearsal dinner, which is awesome. But then come wedding day, you want to spend time with your spouse and ground yourselves and really soak in the fact that you're getting married. You also want to spend time with all of the guests who came to celebrate you. And that's kind of hard to do in one day, especially if it's that time that you're able to do that is squeezed into cocktail hour per se. So, hear me out. There's two ways to increase the time that you are able to spend with each other, with your loved ones, with your guests, on around your wedding, but they don't need to happen on wedding day. So, it's all in how you use the day before. Instead of just using the day before the wedding or the day after, I should say. We'll get there. Number one. We're all in the place, we're getting there. Number one. Instead of using the day before your wedding as just for the rehearsal dinner, also have a welcome party. This is a great option to spend time with guests and have intentional conversation with people so that when wedding day rolls around, you don't feel as obligated to speak to every single person coming to your wedding at cocktail hour or guilty for not saying hi to somebody during the course of your wedding day. And you're able to then build in more intentional time to be with your spouse and have some quiet moments together to really let it all sink in wow, we just got married. This is crazy. Because those moments are really, really nice to have. On my wedding day, my husband and I had a couple of those moments. They didn't last super long, but they were incredibly grounding and beautiful and memorable, and I'm so glad we were able to do that. We had those moments during a first look. We had that during some time stepped away after the ceremony before entering cocktail hour, and then I would even say golden hour portraits helped us do that, but mostly our private last dance at the end of the night was a great grounding moment as well. But yeah, basically having a wedding part or a welcome party after your rehearsal dinner is like you already had the rehearsal and the dinner with like the VIPs, immediate family, wedding party. And then you have like an open invite cocktail hour type deal where anybody who is already in town for the wedding day can come and have some drinks and chit chat, maybe some hors d'oeuvres, and just get to talk to other guests and get to talk to you before your wedding day. And that alleviates a lot of maybe stress or obligation or even guilt on the wedding day that you might feel if you hadn't got to talk to these people. And again, you may not hit everybody, but if you hit a lot of people, like talking to them before the wedding day rolls around, that's like a big weight lifted off your shoulders that you can just focus on getting married and creating a solid core memory with your spouse to begin your marriage with. So that's number one. You can also add on a farewell like brunch afterwards too. If you're feeling the vibes the morning after the wedding, you're probably going to be exhausted. But if you're like, no, I want to spend as much time with guests as possible, a farewell brunch is like a fantastic idea to then be able to say goodbye to people so they don't feel the need to come say goodbye to you on the dance floor or something like that. Okay, so that's the first option. That's more of like the standard option, I would say, is to just increase time with guests the day before the wedding, possibly the day after the wedding, so that you can really focus on your spouse on the wedding day. There's another option that I think is so cool. I photographed a wedding like this in 2024, and I actually know a wedding photographer friend who's doing something very similar to this for her own wedding. And it's to split up a regular wedding day into 2 days. So I'm not sure where a rehearsal would fit into this because my husband and I did not do this ourselves. So this is just something I've documented and also heard about. But it sounds awesome, and it was awesome when I photographed it. So splitting the day into 2 days means day one is your ceremony day. And this would be anybody who would be coming to your rehearsal dinner. So immediate family, wedding party, spouse, grandparents, things like that. They are the ones to witness you actually getting married. It's a really beautiful thing to do because it really just hones the focus in on like the sacredness of the marriage and the vows. And you're able to spend really quality time with those VIP loved ones. You can have dinner afterwards. You can have a whole nother outfit for this day. But it can be really focused on like you, your spouse, and your VIP loved ones. That's the ceremony day, is day one. Then day two is just the reception. So guests can arrive for like a cocktail hour, hour and a half, even like 2-hour extended window where they're able to come say hello to you, congratulate you, talk to other guests, and then have lots of like food available. You could do another sit down dinner here, but it's definitely not necessary. And they can go into all reception formalities. So you and your spouse can enter as a married couple as you would a normal reception, but it's kind of like even more of a grand entrance this time around because you got married the day before, and so it's really is your grand entrance as a married couple. So you enter, you can do your first dance, you can do parent dances, toasts, what have you, and then just dance the night away with a ton of people, knowing that you already got to spend time with your spouse the day before and like really lock in and like focus on the marriage part, and a lot of time with your VIPs as well. And then you can just let loose and hang out with people and dance the night away on your reception day. And of course, farewell brunch the next day works as well. That always can be tossed in. But yeah, those are 2 ways to extend your wedding into a wedding weekend. And as you can see, it does not need to be in a destination where everybody's staying at the same resort and everybody flew in. It can be that way, but it doesn't have to be. And I really think being able to extend the time that you're able to spend with people makes a big difference to be able to stay grounded and locked in on your wedding day. So I actually created a template for this. If you're like, this kind of sounds like something my spouse and I, or I guess fiance and I would like to do, I kind of want to hear more. I created a wedding weekend template based on these 2 options with actual timelines, like timestamps of when things would happen to be able to ensure like the most time spent with whoever you want to spend it with in those times. So like welcome party versus then a cocktail hour the next day, if that makes sense. And then also I included a bunch of tips to be even more intentional about how you spend your time and things to do to enhance specific moments throughout the day and create really awesome core memories that you can have for the rest of your life. So if you're interested in that, I included the link in the show notes, completely free. I just made it for you. It's ready. It's there for you. The link is in the show notes. You can click that. It'll take you to a landing page where you can then download the PDF guide. Feel free to copy it exactly. Feel free to tweak it and change it to your needs. But I hope that's really helpful to you if you're like, yeah, I think we actually do want to make sure we are spending time with each group of people that we want to, and then still like lock in on our wedding day and be really intentional about the act of marriage. So yeah, that's in the show notes, and I hope this episode has been helpful. I hope you got to take a piece here or there even to make your wedding day even more special, because it really is such a special day. I can now say as a married woman, it's so much fun, and it really does create such a beautiful foundation for your marriage. So I hope this helped. I hope you have a great time listening. You got something helpful. Now go hug your person, and I'll see you next Wednesday.